Hey guys, April the 27th here in Central Illinois. We got the hill climber done. we got it all painted. We got it rubber stamped. We got the Mylar in the windows. We got the headlights wired. It is ready to go. So I'll show you how well it runs or doesn't run here in just a minute. But this was a lot of fun to do. I won't lie to you. It was a pain in the ass once in a while too. If you remember the last time I said I had a black roof and I was going to pinstripe it right in the corner. Well, I did pinstripe it and it turned out real well. And then I pushed my paint applicator too hard and red paint went everywhere, which really got my undies in a bunch. So as soon as it dried, I thought, hell with it. I'm not going to redo the whole thing. So I sanded down the edges and the corners, masked off the sides, and shot it with the Brunswick green and just left the top black. So there was nothing wrong with the top, and then we went from there. But we got everything wired. That was another problem because there's so much paint on it that the headlights were never grounded, so I had to run a ground wire from one to the floor, and then everything lit up and was just fine. So we got that all taken care of. We got our template wheels painted. I try to really go with the kind of the garish template the way Lionel and stuff did in the early years. I'll tell you what, I found a quick way, and some of you guys probably already know it anyhow, of painting those wheels. I just took those wheels and I chucked them up in this drill. It's a cordless, and it's done. And I'm not kidding you, it's that quick. I use a fairly large brush, fill it completely full of paint, put it on the center, or where you want to on the inside, and turn that thing on, and like I say, you're done and it's even. You unscrew it, set it off to the side, and do the others. I did 6 of these because the one set of wheels are mounted to the motor, and all I did was I just painted the inside of that. Wasn't much to paint. It'd been painted before, but it was the wrong color of red. But yeah, that really worked out really good. So the other thing, here's something. I gotta sit this down on the floor. The other thing I had thought about doing, I wanted to do, but I didn't have these signs. You've seen trolley cars that have had advertisement. Sometimes they have it right on the front. Sometimes they have it on the side, up at the top. But Bassett Loke over in England, before the war, made signs that you could put on your building. Well, I didn't want to pay $30 for a sign. And not only that, it was English. I want something that has an American connotation. Well, those signs for the station stand here, you can buy repros. So I think I bought 18 or 19 different signs, and that's what I'm going to use. Now, I'm not going to put it on this. I'm already done with this. I ain't taking any chance of screwing up my paint. But if I build another one of these, if I build another trolley, I will, of course, cut this in two, cut the tabs off of it. And this is a size 256 screw. That's tiny, but I can go even smaller than that. I can go as small as a 1 or a 0. Now, the bigger question is, will I be able to see it and will I be able to thread it? That's the other thing. But I can go a lot smaller so they will fit in the sign. This doesn't really doesn't take up that much. I would use it's what they call a pan head. So it wouldn't look bad there. I mean, after all, that would be truly in the template fashion. The other thing that I'm working on, this is that tender for that big 060 standard gauge switcher that I bought. Got this all tore apart. See what's going on in it. I'm going to sand this. I'm not going to strip the paint. The paint is adhered good, but I'm going to sand it real good, and then I'm going to shoot it black. And then I'll look for a rubber stamp to put on the side. I had thought about Pennsylvania. I may go back to the Chicago Northwestern Railway. That's the one that ran by my house as I was growing up as a kid, so I'm rather fond of it. The other thing that I'm doing is going to be making me some beer cars. Now, there's a gentleman by the name of Dave Wallace. The guy is an absolute, positively fantastic craftsman. And he built them from scratch, but he built Ives boxcars. Then he took, if I can get the thing picked up, and this is too big. This is not what I'm going to use. But he took paper beer labels and glued them right here in the center. Then he rubber stamped over here. Now I've got 2 sets of labels that are coming, and they will drop right in here. So all I have to do is adjust them up and down, get them centered, glue them, and then spray some clear coat on them. And of course, the rest of the car would be already painted. Do my rubber stamping, stuff like that. But I saw a whole string of cars that he had made out at York this about 2 weeks ago. Now, I wasn't there. I just saw the video of it. They are absolutely, positively fantastic. I had thought about doing this a long time ago. In fact, I had bought this label about 6 or 7 years ago, and I was going to make a beer car. But I thought, why make one if I can get, since I've got 2 of these Ives cars not in really good shape, paint-wise anyhow, the bodies are perfect. Why not try it? I'll strip them and put it on, and we'll see where it goes. So that's the other thing that we've got. All right, well, let me set these. That's the problem. I got too much junk. Let's set this out of the road, and then let's see what the hill climber will do. It ran just fine before I started this video. Before we do the hill climber, I picked this up at Stouts 2 weeks ago. It's a 3240 Ives 1 gauge. I think in the former life this thing was a coffee grinder. You'll know what I mean as soon as I fire it up. But it runs real well. It must be a later version because I've got another 3240, and the other 3240, the journal trucks are not on the wheels. There's like a journal truck here and a journal truck here, whereas these are exactly over the wheels. And these trucks are different than the 3240 that I've got back up there on the wall. So just a design change. The other thing I got to do on this is I got to drop the motor out of it, and I got to wire a headlight back here. It's the receptacle was gone, so I need to get one of those little buttons and run it through and get it wired up, and off she'll go. So let's listen to this thing grind coffee, shall we? I oiled it and everything, and it runs good. It started right off, but it is it's grinding French blend, I think, or French roast. The Bing cars look good behind it. I wish I had some more American outlying 1 gauge. That stuff's hard to find, and it ain't cheap. And I am. Actually, guys, it's not quite as noisy as it was. Maybe it's because I've oiled it and I've ran it some. The thing had probably set for 60 years and nobody ever ran it. All right, let's see what the hill climber will do. It runs good with that McCoy engine in it. Well, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm well pleased with it. I bought that hill climber in York. That would have been last September. And I finally got it done, so I'm well pleased with the effort. It was a lot of work. I tell you what, I got more cuts from this thing than Carter's got liver pills. I don't know why, but the metal on it seemed to be particularly sharp, and I was always getting cut. Had blood all over the place. So that's it. You guys have a safe weekend. Don't drink a lot of beer like I'm going to do. And we will see you next week. Toodaloo.